You're listening to Behind Closed Doors, the podcast where we shine a light on the stories hidden in the shadows. I'm your host, Kate, and today we're diving into a crisis that too many people don't want to talk about: the heartbreaking failures of America's child care and protective services system, and the innocent children who are paying the ultimate price. Across the United States, child welfare systems are supposed to protect our most vulnerable: children facing neglect, abuse, or abandonment. But every year, hundreds of children are hurt, and some are killed, after being placed in homes vetted and approved by the very systems that are supposed to protect them. Let's start with some numbers. According to the federal government's most recent child maltreatment report, over 1,700 children died in 2023 due to abuse or neglect. Many of them had prior involvement with child protective services. Some were placed in foster care. Others remained in dangerous homes after the system decided it was safe. But the reality? It wasn't. In Kentucky, 4-year-old Serenity McKinney disappeared just weeks after her case was closed by social workers. Her mother and mother's boyfriend were later charged in her death. In Arizona, 6-year-old Devani was placed in a foster home where she was tortured, forced to stand barefoot on hot pavement, starved and beaten. The system had received complaints, but failed to act in time. And then there's the heartbreaking case of 2-year-old A.J. Freund in Illinois. The Department of Children and Family Services had visited his home multiple times. His mother's drug abuse was well documented, but somehow A.J. was still there, until the day his parents beat him to death and buried his body in a shallow grave. These stories are not rare. They are symptoms of a broken system, one strained by overworked caseworkers, poor oversight, chronic underfunding, and often political apathy. Let's break this down. First, caseloads. The average child welfare caseworker in America often juggles twice the number of cases recommended by national standards. That means each child, each red flag, each warning sign gets less attention than it deserves. Second, oversight. Many foster homes are not adequately monitored after placement. Licensing processes vary wildly from state to state. In some areas, background checks are shallow, follow-up visits are rare, and reports of mistreatment go ignored or buried in bureaucratic chaos. Third, data suppression and secrecy. When children die in state care, records are often sealed. Agencies cite confidentiality, protecting privacy, while families and journalists are left begging for answers. This secrecy allows mistakes to be buried instead of fixed. Fourth, privatization. Some states contract private companies to handle foster placements. That can create dangerous incentives. The faster a child is placed, the more money is saved. Quantity over quality. And when profit becomes part of child protection, safety often loses. So what happens when we don't fix this? Children suffer. They slip through the cracks. They die. And the public only hears about it when it's too late. When a child's body is found in a landfill, or when a sibling comes forward years later with stories of rape and starvation. But it doesn't have to be this way. We need national standards. We need better training, more funding, independent oversight, and consequences when agencies fail. And more than anything, we need to treat child protection not as a backroom political issue, but as a frontline human rights crisis. These children, these faces we never see, these names we forget too quickly, they deserve more. They deserve to be safe. They deserve to be heard. They deserve to live. That's it for today's episode of Behind Closed Doors. If this story moved you, share it. Talk about it. Reach out to your local officials. Ask hard questions, because silence is the system's greatest weapon. And awareness, that's where change begins. I'm Kate, thanks for listening. Stay safe and keep your eyes open.